writing in the dark. It could be a metaphorical, it could be a physical, an actual, a literal. I remember reading about the poet Robert Frost when he lived on his farm here in New England. Here in New Hampshire, he also lived in Vermont. He had a dairy farm to support his family, and he changed his milking schedule for his cows because you're supposed to milk them every 12 hours. Most farmers will do it early in the morning and late in the afternoon. Not Robert. He did it at noon and at midnight because in the evening, he was undisturbed, and he could write, and he could work, and he could edit, and he could take care of his correspondence, and he could do all the stuff that daily occurrences had a tendency to interrupt. And right now we're coming up to daylight savings time, so the days will be getting shorter, sooner, staying darker longer. Maybe those quiet times are for you to get involved in writing. Then there's a metaphorical aspect to writing in the dark. When you get into your writing, you do a lot of, whether you realize it or not, self-examination. A lot of your feelings and everything that you are trying to express will come out in your writing. You won't be able to hide it. It will seep out in relationships, it'll seep out in themes, it will seep out in patterns. So a very important part of writing, you could say, involves shadow work. And shadow work is a term used to describe dealing with a lot of unresolved things you have in you. Dealing with repressed emotions, feelings, conflicts that you have not resolved, finding the negative things about you that you try to deny being there, that you try to avoid. The risk of being a psychoanalyst, the things that we try to avoid often are the things that control us because we don't want to acknowledge them, so we don't keep an eye on them. We don't keep them under control. A very, very romantic notion to go through life with rainbows and unicorns. Romantic, but not realistic. In every story arc, there is conflict, there is drama, there is tragedy, there is success, there is hope, there is despair. You can't expect to deal with one without dealing with the other. And so your writing will give you a chance to do a lot of that. How do you want the story to end? Remember, you are the author of your story, not just on the page, but in your life. You don't like the way the story's going? Change the narrative, both literally and metaphorically. Don't be afraid to find out what lies in the dark.